the leading companies when it comes to cloud ERP solutions, etc. Now, SAP is not just a company which is doing well. It's a company which is listed as the top employer. It is listed as a company which is the best place to work for. The reason why we have this is because we prioritize our candidates who are hired from college or candidates who are hired as experienced professionals. So, an important pointer to you, working in the best place, which was titled by Economic Times, which was titled by World Surveys, and the best employer, it comes with the top talent coming in. So please note, the interview process that each one of you is going to go through will be to gauge your capabilities, your personalities, etc. So this is what I would give a brief of from SAP. Now let me give you a broad spectrum of what SAP is. Let me use a Q&A window. Everybody who has access to the Q&A window, please go ahead and put in if you know the full form of SAP. Let me see how many of you all have done some ground check. So I hope everybody is able to see the screens now. And let's see what are the top names that comes to each of us. The full form of SAP. SAP stands for what? Yeah, I think we are getting there. A lot of questions that are coming in. Uh, let's try and hear what is SAP's full form. Anybody can go ahead and put that in the chat. Okay, systems, applications, and products. Few of them stating that. Anything else? Anybody else who has a different definition? Systems, applications, and products in data processing. Great. So, guys, you guys are on the right track. Ensure that one important thing. I know today when we are having virtual interviews, virtual online processes, Googling is always good, but ensure that all of you have knowledge about the companies that you're attending for. I'm not just talking about SAP, but it's about any organization that you are attending interviews for. You should know a little about it. For those who have Googled it, I would recommend you to read a little about it. But for those who have already done a research about the organization before coming for the session, kudos to all of you. I'm pretty sure you will be one of those students who have put in a lot of effort and you will definitely see the results. So great. So all of you all mentioned the full form. Let me give you a very broad understanding of what SAP does. In simple words, SAP's purpose is to help the world run better and improve people's life. Now, this is a very layman term. Now, how does SAP ensure that the world runs better, or how does it ensure that people's lives are improved? Is through addressing complex business challenges. So, our software solutions that are created by developers like you. So, please note, everybody who's attending the interview process for SAP will all be moving into development portfolios. We have our own skills like ABAP, HANA, etc. And we have the usual generic skills when it comes to Java, Python, etc. So you will be working on each of these technologies, but from a development point of view. So all of you will be developers. You create the software and solutions that help our customers to solve complex business challenges. Now, again, this is a little broad. Let me give you an example. Now, I'll take India's example so that everybody is able to relate. I'm pretty sure everybody has taken train tickets till date, or few of y'all who own vehicles have gone to, say, Bharat Petroleum or Hindustan HP petrol bunks. So, all of these brands which I spoke about, just imagine when SAP was not there, if you had to book a railway ticket, you had to go stand at the counter, wait till the counters were open, stand in queue for hours together, and get a ticket. But today we are talking about a system which has completely enabled each one of you to get into a portal login, book your tickets on the dates, see the availability, plan your travel, and the ticket comes to you on your mobile number. It's as simple as it gets. And this system is something that is enabled by SAP. I'm pretty sure all of you all would have heard of the organization TCS. TCS is the one that runs this or supports this in the background, but it's the product that SAP has designed for a country like India. I spoke about Bharat Petroleum, Hindustan Petroleum, all of these brands which you've heard of. These are brands that we are working with to ensure their data management is taken care. For example, if 1,000 vehicles are coming to a petrol pump in a day, how many liters of petrol is getting consumed? How much needs to be added for the next day? This is all data. Nobody can actually go and keep measuring every single time. So this is data that is processed, and this is taken care by SAP's applications, right? Let me quickly, I think you're not able to see my video. Let me quickly just send in my video as well so that you're able to see a complete view of it. Okay. Great. So, each one of you, when you are thinking of all these global Indian brands, SAP is there functioning at the back. This is how we have been uh, working with the government of India to ensure people across India are getting benefited. Again, now let me look at these brands. I'm pretty sure all of you would have heard these brands: Under Armour, Adidas, Nike. Yes. Um, each one of you, when you're thinking of a global brand like this, I'm pretty sure you will think that SAP, what does SAP have to do? IT software company which is there, what does that company have to do when it comes to brands like this? Let's take example of Nike. If Nike is producing 10,000 shoes in one showroom or one warehouse, that 10,000 shoes that are getting manufactured needs raw materials like rubber, cloth, etc. So who is managing how much amount of rubber or raw materials needs to come to the warehouse? It is based on SAP software. So any of these brands you touch, SAP plays a critical role in their assembly line, in their marketing, pricing, all of this, the data management or data processing is done by SAP. I'm pretty sure all of you who have dream cars, at least one of these brands will be there in that. BMW, McLaren, Jaguar, Land Rover, all these brands, each of these cars have different sensors or data points that get captured. I'm pretty sure anybody who sat in a BMW or a Jaguar Land Rover would know that right from the engine stress level to the air pressure in the tire is something that is seen on the dashboard of the car. So all of these sensors which are there in the car are capturing data, processing it, and showing it to the user, either on an application or it's showing on the dashboard. Now, this entire processing is done by SAP's products. So you can understand the magnitude of what SAP does. Now, let's take an example of flying. I'm pretty sure few of you all have taken flights within India. Few of you all would have taken flights abroad. Now, let's take an example. Assume that all of you, whoever are attending this, get an offer and have to travel to Bangalore. So you're traveling from different locations down to Bangalore. You have taken 2, 3 bags with you with clothes, etc. And you're coming down to Bangalore as a location. Now, when you board the flight, imagine that you get into a wrong flight and reach Mumbai. I know it is probably a very silly thing, but imagine that you got into a wrong flight. Or imagine that, which usually happens, imagine your bag goes off to Mumbai and you reach Bangalore. All these are issues where data management becomes very critical. So me as a user, Benjamin Samuel as a user has two bags. Those two bags have to reach Bangalore is data that is getting processed somewhere or the other. And this data needs to be sent to that particular flight. Say Indigo is the flight that you're taking. That flight is processing that information. Now this entire information system is again managed by none other than SAP Labs. All of these brands that you see, so I gave you specific examples, but all of these brands you see, few of them might be coming to your college. I'm pretty sure organizations like Amazon, Apple, AstraZeneca, if anybody has taken booster doses from AstraZeneca, Microsoft, Samsung, sorry, all of these companies which are there use SAP's products in some way or the other, which means even if you are not identified or you're not part of an organization like SAP, in some or the other way, you will definitely use SAP. So 92% of Forbes Global 2000 companies, all of these 92% companies use SAP brand, right? So this is a gist of what SAP has to offer you and what you will be part of when it comes to the Scholar program. Now let's walk into details about SAP career options. Now, I'm pretty sure your placement officers would have shared the information with you. Scholar at SAP is a very unique program. So let me give you a little bit of gist about Scholar at SAP program, which has been running in India from 2008 onwards, like I said. Now here, the Scholar at SAP program is not just a normal employment. The reason why this program came into play was to ensure that we enable students to become better when they join an organization and increase their market value. So, for example, it's not just a normal 9 to 5 work system. You will have a dual system that comes into play where one part of it means that you are working on weekdays and on Saturdays, you will have classes with BITS Pilani. So you're learning at the same time you're working. So that's the dual system which we are talking about. I'll get more into details about the BITS learning module. Rotational practical phases. So a lot of you, when you join in, you are not really sure whether I want to work in Java, whether I want to work on Hadoop, whether I want to work in JavaScript. Each of you all have that different mindset on what my area of interest is. You would have done few projects, but you would not have clarity on what would be my core strength. So we organize practical phases. These practical phases give you more information about what SAP and other IT companies are working on. So these 3 practical phases, you're working with 3 different teams, and then you move into the core work. Next is demand oriented. SAP as an organization, we are into different areas. Development is one part, AI ML is another area. So each of these have different fragments. When I say development, it's developing or continuing to enhance features for existing products. AI ML is a new area. So each of these sections which are there have different. So all of you are coming in from a development background and you will be working on existing products or enhancing existing products. So that's the demand orientation bit. Now, next is binding. So a lot of students have this question in mind. If I'm doing a course in BITS Pilani and working, does SAP have any bond or agreement? SAP does not have a bond or agreement, which means at any point in time during your career in SAP, if you think that you want to discontinue, you will have only the notice period. There will be no bond or agreement that will be applicable for any of the students who are part of this program. Last one is on quality. Like I earlier also mentioned, each one of you will go through different rounds. We will talk about the interview rounds. Each of them will be a filtration round, and we try and identify the best students from each of these rounds. Great. Now let me move into the next phase, which is about the BITS program. So the BITS program, which started in 2008, is a partnership with the BITS Pilani campus, and we offer an MTech in software engineering, which is completely sponsored by SAP. You don't have to worry about anything, and you're getting paid as an employee. So this is what the tie-up with BITS is. You don't have to travel to BITS. The BITS faculties come down to SAP campus in Bangalore. The location that you will be working would be Bangalore. And next is higher education. So, like I said, the higher education certificate is completely taken care by SAP. You don't have to worry. It's just about you attending classes on weekends. Great. I already spoke about rotations where you get to work with three different teams. So for every 7 months, you get to work with three different teams. And then finally, you start off as a code developer. Till then, you're called as a scholar. Great. This is the 4-year journey. I'll probably skip through this since we don't have BCA BSc students. Let me go to the 2-year journey. So each one of you, I've taken the example of MBAs, but BTech B students also have the similar journey where you will be going through um, a training program. You can factor in the training program that each one of you will be going through. Yeah. So each one of you who's there in this particular call will be part of something called as the 2-year program. BTech students, CS, IT are the usual streams. We have EEE and other circuit branches also that we consider. A minimum of 60% is required in 10th and 12th. This is the eligibility criteria. All those who are there on the call, please note, there is no two ways about it. The eligibility criteria is absolute. Only this eligible students will be permitted to attend this. So BTech, CS, IT, EEE, the circuit streams as well will be considered. Minimum percentage in 10th and 12th should be 60, not 59.9, but 60 and above. Minimum aggregate in your BTech degree should be 70% and above. When I talk about 70%, again, not 69.5, 69.9, it's 70% and above. These documents will be validated. So please ensure that there is no errors at this point. The online assessment will be conducted for the students. This will be an online test where we will be giving you coding problems. And once you complete the online assessment, we will have interview process that will be conducted for the same. I'll talk more details about the interview process, but online test is the first step. And the joining date for all of the students who's offered will be 2024. We are very clear when it comes to joining. All the students who are offered will be joining us in August. We don't have deferred joining. We don't have something that is batch-based joining, etc. All the students who are offered will be joining us in August 2024. And at the time of joining, no backlogs will be permitted. There are a few queries about gap in education. 2 years gap or 24 months gap, to be precise, is what is permitted. No exceptions are taken. For preparations, we understand you can take a year's gap or 2 years gap. So 2 years gap or 24 months is what is permitted. Great. Now, first comes first, when it comes to the 2-year program that we are talking, for 2 years, you're going to pursue this MTech from BITS Pilani program, and then you will be moving into a higher salary bracket. So till then, your compensation would be 35,000 per month first year, which is 4.2 lakhs per annum. This is only the cash component. You have benefits as well, which I'm pretty sure your placement officer would have shared, which will come up to approximately 6.5. So your overall cash component, I want to be very transparent so that you can see what is the monthly income that you will be getting. 35,000 per month, that is 4.2 lakhs per annum, cash component plus benefits. So this is what you have. And after you complete your first year, you have an in between revision that is done. Now, let me move forward so that I can give you more details about the process. So each one of you who's offered would be joining in as a scholar. So a scholar who is uh, pursuing MTech from BITS Pilani and working with us, you will be working on development field. Once you are done with that journey, you will be moving to an associate developer role where your compensation is revised. So after 1.5 years, if you've done well, your performance is good. If you have secured good academic scores, you will be moving to a higher salary bracket, which is approximately 16 lakhs per annum with benefits included. So after that, you get to move as a specialist developer, later on as a senior supervisor, and then you become a manager or an expert, chief manager or an expert. So this is the career growth that each one of you will have when it comes to SAP. This is something that I wanted to showcase so that everybody is aware of how the career growth progression goes. Now, let me take an example from here. Each one of you, whoever is joining in, these are the benefits. I'm just showcasing it so that everybody is able to see the benefits. Uh, so, right from your onboarding till you become an employee, there are multiple uh, advantages that come in, which include your onboarding. When you're getting onboarded, there is a certain amount of relocation benefits that you get, where you have accommodation that is arranged so that you're comfortable in a new city if you're not from Bangalore. There are, again, we mentioned the MTech from BITS Pilani is completely sponsored. You get to work with different teams. We have different innovation hackathons where there are cash prizes involved. Uh, People who are sports enthusiasts, we have an amazing facility which has multiple sports events that happens throughout the year. Meals and transport is taken care by SAP, so you don't have to worry. When you're on campus, your meal on campus and your transportation to and back is taken care by SAP. We have something called as Pledge to Flex, which means though you will be working in Bangalore, the primary location for you will be Bangalore. We have the flexibility that is given team basis on how many days you need to come. So we are working in a hybrid model where few days will be on campus, the other days you can work from your respective hostels or homes wherever you're based out of. Uh, so these are the benefits that come in from a scholar point of view. Now let me give you a little bit of details about the interview process. I'll skip these parts. We'll have a detailed connect about more additional benefits, but let me give you a crisp detail about what is expected in the interview process. So we have uh, four different levels. The first level will be the online test, which I mentioned will be a coding problem that will be given to you. Second interview and third interview are technical interview rounds. And final is a VT and HR round. VT is nothing but vocational trainers. These are managers who take interviews along with the HRs. So these are the different rounds that are applicable. In the technical round, you will be assessed on basics. When I talk about basics, each one will be asked questions about what kind of projects have you taken up, which is your core subject. So you need to know about which subject you need to talk about. I'm going to give you a very simple example. Take an example of you going in for the interview process, and I introduce myself saying, my name is Benjamin Samuel. I'm from CS background, and my academic score is 78% in CS. If you stop at that, the interview panel will start asking you 10, 20 questions which they have in mind. it's important that you start talking about your accomplishment. For example, I have done a project where I have developed an external website. I have done the UX part of it. I had worked with another partner of mine where we developed the entire UI for it. When you talk about the language that you use, the project that you've done, automatically the interview panels will start asking you more questions about what you have done. This will help you answer more questions in that 30 minutes or 35 minutes duration, which will help you get clear it. I mean, you can clear the interview process better. So first and primary is decide what your basics are. What are you going to showcase when it comes to the interview process? We will have small coding problems that will be given to you for locations where we are doing virtual interviews. uh, Please ensure you have Teams application downloaded on your systems. The interviews will be conducted on Teams. Next is talk about latest trends and technologies. We can, uh, all of you read the presentation. You can talk about how BMW or how Indian Railways or how different airlines are using SAP products. This shows your awareness in technology and you show what SAP has been connected with. So these are areas that help you come through the interview process better. Problem solving attitude, this is something that we will showcase in puzzles and areas and other accomplishments. So if you have won a title, if there's any award that you have received in college, please showcase that in your resume or showcase that when you're talking to the interview panel. In the vocational training round and HR round, we will look at presentation skills. uh, how present, when I say presentation skills, your communication included, and are you able to talk on topic? Please be well dressed when it comes to an interview process. Needless to say, uh, how much do you know about the company? This I already spoke about. And finally, your communication or soft skills. We are not talking about polished English, but are you understanding the question and are you answering back to it correctly? Is what the prime focus is. Now, since you know all of this and you know that there are different companies that come to your campus for interview process, let me take a few minutes to explain the growth trajectory of SAP Labs. Each one of you who is joining into SAP Labs, as I mentioned, the compensation that is offered is around 6.5, in which 4.2 lakhs is the average comp that you will get annually. That is 35,000 per month. So if the green line that you see is what SAP offers, and that's how you grow. Uh, so first year from 6.5 to 7.5 is what you average a company grows. And then in a second year around 8.6. If you have accepted an offer from another A company which is offering the similar compensation, and in 2 years you will end up earning around 8.6 lakhs. Another company comes and they're offering you around 9 lakhs. The compensation growth that would be there is around 10.4, and after 2 years it will become 11.9. Let's take a third company that you are interviewing, which is offering 12 lakhs. And after the first year, it's around 13.8 that you will get as compensation and 15.9 that you get as compensation. But if you're joining into SAP as an organization, we are very particular about quality. That's the reason why we have an MTech program. That's the reason why you don't start off with a full-time employment role right away. So you are titled as a scholar in between this duration. And once you complete that 1.5 years and you have proved yourself in academics and in projects, your compensation will go from 6.5 to 7 in the first year. And after 1.5 years, your total CTC shoots up to 16.2. So that's the kind of growth that SAP offers compared to different companies. So please ensure SAP is not mandating anyone to take up the interview process. It's absolutely your choice whether you want to work in a company where you're going to do MTech from Bits Pilani and work. It is difficult. I'm not going to say that it is a simple process. We want candidates who will put in their best, showcase their efforts, and ensure that they come out on top. And we are proud to say every year we convert around 90% of our students who started off their career at 6.5 lakhs, and today they are working at 16.2 lakhs after a completion of 1.5 years. So this is the growth trajectory that we assure if you are a good performer. I'm again stating this is we've showcased this to the placement officers also. uh, it is not a mandate to attend SAP's interview process if you feel this is not something that you want to do. We are looking at candidates who have that uh, learning zeal in them, that aspiration to learn and succeed in their career. So this is the primary objective. I will take a pause. I know this has been a long session for each one of you, lot of inputs that you have received, but let me open it up for questions now. All of you can use the chat window and we will start taking in questions. Let's try and see what we have in store. Please go ahead and use your Q&A window. We will be starting to answer the questions. I'll be stopping the screen sharing. We will be going ahead and connecting on chat. So please use the chat Q&A window and we will start off with uh, questions that you have. We have another 20 minutes to go. I'm pretty sure we will be able to use that time. Great. I think questions are still coming in, so I'll just wait for a few seconds so that everybody is typing in their questions. I'm super happy that all of you have read about SAP, and the kind of responses that have come to me are amazing. It shows the kind of dedication that is coming from all of you. And thank you to all the students who have logged in. I see about 9,000 odd students who have actively engaging during the session. Thank you so much for being part of this connect. Questions are just trickling in. Let me just reach. I think few of you are trying to ping in. So let me just wait for all the questions to start getting. Okay, so there's a question on the eligibility criteria. Um, as I mentioned, 60% in 10th, 12th, uh, and in graduation, 70 percentage is a mandate. We would require all the students to be following that criteria. Only then we will process the application. We will be sharing a Google registration link with all of you where the details will be filled in and the placement officers will be vetting it through. So please ensure your academic percentages are mentioned correctly and you don't have any errors in it. This will avoid any candidates coming through the interview process and in the final round getting rejected. So please avoid if you are not meeting the eligibility criteria. I repeat, 60% in 10th and 12th, 70% in graduation, and we will have no backlogs at the time of joining and less than 24 months gap when it comes to education. Okay, there's another question, I think, all on applications when it comes to eligibility criteria. Please connect with your placement officer or refer to the email in case you have questions on the same. There's another question on MTech. Do I have a choice to choose which question, which specialization I want to take up? The answer is MTech that we have, the curriculum that is designed is specific to organization like SAP. So we have ensured that the responses of or the candidates whoever are taking it up are attuned to SAP and IT organizations. So software engineering is the course that you will take up, and that is what we have tie up with BITS. So there's no alternatives there. It's not an elective. It's something that we have mandated. Uh, Another question here, what is the usual conversion? Are there students who get rejected if they don't meet the requirement? The answer is all of the students, whoever are part of this program, get an equal opportunity. They have to prove themselves when it comes to the interview process. So it is made a mandate that you have to attend BITS classes. You have to ensure that you do well in your projects. And if you do, we will accordingly um, convert you to a higher compensation grade. And as I mentioned, 90% of the students this year have gotten converted, which is assuring, regardless of how the industry is doing, we are giving an opportunity for all the students. Okay, so a few questions that are there. How to prepare for the first coding round? We have multiple languages that you can code in: C, C++, Perl, Ruby, Python, whichever you are comfortable. So please feel free to code in any language. There is an online compiler, so you can go ahead and compile on that same tool. You don't have to switch tabs. Please make sure you do not commit multiple errors. The more errors that you have while compiling the code showcases inconsistency. So you need to ensure that you do write the code in one go. If you do that, your scores will be higher. That's the higher probability of getting through. And we have multiple problems, not just one problem, but the best will is what will be factored in. So if you're able to solve two problems, that's what will be factored in. Okay. Another question here is, what if we don't want to do MTech? Is it necessary? The answer is, this is a work integrated learning program, and for being part of this program, it is mandatory to do MTech. Again, reiterating, if your career interests are different, you don't think this is what you want to do, it's absolutely up to you. You can definitely choose not to sit for SAP's interview process, but this is what I would recommend. Uh, what will be the salary? I think we already spoke about it. 35,000 per month is the cash component, which is 4.2 lakhs plus benefits, which includes transportation, meals on campus. We have something called as Own SAP, which is you can subscribe to the shares at SAP. Another set of question is, what about students who don't meet the eligibility criteria? Again, I'm repeating myself. 10th, 12th graduation is mandatory. It's because BITS Pilani looks at these academic scores, and your admissions in will depend on each of these courses. In case there is a student who's done diploma and then pursuing their 12th, we are still okay, but 12th is something that will be looked at as a mandatory score. What is the scope of cybersecurity in SAP? We are into a lot of data security management companies. We work with them to provide solutions. So students who are interested in the cybersecurity line do have opportunities. But again, as I said, the first year and half, 1.5 years, where you're doing your rotations, the 3 rotations which I spoke about, is completely your learning module. This is where you're going to learn different technologies in SAP. So it's absolutely your learning curve time. After that, you can definitely try and apply for teams which have cybersecurity kind of opportunities. AI ML, there are a few students who are asking questions. Are we eligible to apply? As of now, we are sticking to the eligibility criteria that we have shared with the colleges. In case there are any openings for AI ML specifically, we will highlight it to the colleges. But as of now, we are sticking to the list which we have confirmed with the placement officers. Few of you have questions on the dates, so don't worry about the dates. We are starting off our process from July and it will stretch till September. We are communicating with your college placement officers to finalize on the dates. You will receive the information from the placement officers itself, so don't worry about it. How can we cover? There's a question that comes in. How can we cover MTech syllabus in a weekend? The curriculum that is designed again is an MTech in software engineering, and we've designed that curriculum in such a way that you have to manage that along with your weekend classes. So we have faculties who will come and give you curriculum. You have to cover that up uh, through the week. If you think weekend is not sufficing, probably once your work is done, say 8:30 to 4:30 is usually the time that scholars work. So 8:30 a.m. to 4:30, once you're done, exactly like your college, once you're back home, you can spend that time to cover the content, but classes will be only on weekends. Uh, there's a question stating, do we have opportunities to go abroad? The answer is yes, and it depends on your performance completely. Once you've completed 1.5 years and you're applying for roles, you can apply for both roles in India and outside. We have success stories of multiple scholars who've traveled to Germany and other locations to work with different teams. So there is an opportunity, but it's not something that is available for everybody. Only the top performers get that opportunity to go and work in a different country or a location. I think most of the questions are coming in on repeat when it comes to eligibility criteria. I would again recommend all of you to please read through the eligibility criteria which was given. Um, we already spoke about there's no agreement or bond, so you don't have to worry about it. And if you opt to move out of MTech, that's something that SAP will bear the cost. You don't have to pay anything. And MTech is the only course, like I mentioned. I think there are a lot of questions on eligibility that are coming in. Questions on data structures and algorithm. Will they be asked during the interview process? Absolutely. These are basics, and we expect you to be aware of data structures and algorithms. These are few primary questions that will be asked during the interview rounds. Um, Next set of questions that are uh, available. If I leave the program in between, will I get the experience certificate? Yes, you will get an experience certificate. It's valid work that you're doing, so you will get an experience certificate. I think this are the primary set of questions that have come in. I will take a pause here, and I see there are around 4,000 plus questions that have come in, but I see a lot of repeat questions that are there. One important question that has come in is, what is the notice period in SAP Labs? The notice period that is applicable is 2 months when you're working as a scholar. So I would wish each one of you to hold on to your questions. This was the primary connect session that we had. When I say the primary, this was the launch connect session. We will have individual connects with your respective colleges as well later. So please ensure you hold on to these questions at a later point when we have a connect. Just before your online test, we will have a separate connect with your college where it will be more interactive, where you can unmute yourself and ask questions. This was a Teams live because this was an official launch for SAP Scholar program. So unfortunately, we did not have the capability to answer all 4,000 questions, but please keep that in store and we will ensure that we address it during the next web connect that we organize specific to your respective colleges. So with that being said, thank you for being an amazing audience, for asking such questions that make sense, very relevant Q&As that have come through. And I wish each one of you all the very best. Make your career choice right. That's what my recommendation would be. SAP has got an amazing career journey, but it is for those who have the right mindset of learning, and you will do great if you're in an organization which is ranked as the best employer. So, put in efforts for learning about the company, put in efforts for the online test, and I'm pretty sure that interview process is something that you will be able to clear. So, with all that, I would thank each of the placement officers who are part of this Connect session for enabling all the students to be part of this All India launch. And to all the students who are there, I know there's a lot of nervousness when it comes to the placements. Each of you will be curious about which company will I get a job opportunity. A few of you all will be excited about the interview process. Don't worry, it's a part of your career. You will learn a lot, and I'm pretty sure your placement season will be successful. All the very best, and thank you so much for being part of this Connect. Have an amazing day ahead.